to Robben Island and then...
No, there was no ANC meeting that took that decision. So don't make it an ANC decision. There was no such a meeting. We had the NEC, I attended that NEC. There was no decision about yacht or any other mode of transport. That's not a decision. But...
Mashana politically incorrect. Let me talk about the January 8th statement from the African National Congress. Well organized. It had lots of dignitaries, and I love the way they, as typical ANC, they organized everyone into their own pockets. The Khoshi was there, Barutu were there, and beautiful marquee standard. I did not hear of any complaints and stuff. A vintage typical ANC, and they threw it into the Western Cape, where they are the weakest, and they still got numbers. I was one of those who doubted if they would ever look glamorous and stuff, but well, they did very well. Congratulations to them. 2 points that I'm not happy with. Number one, let me start with the Mbalula issue. I'm thinking the ANC is handling this thing very wrong. Mbalula goes to an arranged meeting, to an arranged itinerary point on top of their calendar, on top of their program, to say they're going to meet in, what is this, Robben Island, and so Mbalula uses a ferry that is not one of those that they were agreed on, because a businessman who's very rich sponsored him with this thing. And well, there's no problem. The reason we've got VIP lights, the reason we've got VIP sitting, the reason we've got VIP protectors, the reason we've got blue lights is because if someone is highly demanded of which the SG of the ANC, who's organizing that thing through his office, of course, as the operations manager of the ANC, the SG, he of course will be running around, and he goes there with a yacht, no problem at all. The Sunday Times publishes something to say Mbalula is in hot water. That guy is not in hot water for that. I can tell you Mbalula is not in trouble for that. Whether it's Ramaphosa who told them he doesn't like it, but Mbalula will not get into trouble for going there in a private yacht. Whether that person receives tenders. How many people receive tenders? These gala dinners, these golf days, for the golf day, by the way, when Ntantalax has won that golf day, he was the overall best player there. This thing is for them to welcome and entertain their biggest market, which is business. These are the people who fund them. And for them to pretend as if they they have other funders, I found it very disingenuous. Very disingenuous. I don't think Mbalula will go into trouble for that. And I don't think he's in trouble for any of the things that they're accusing him of. If he can't get there on time, I heard Silamulela try to put it clear with Colin Gambi, and then it came back to Aldrin Sampier. They tried to corner Mantashe about how that thing was supposed to be done. Guys, man, the media sometimes does chases something that is not there. There is absolutely no problem with what Mbalula has done. I mean, there are a lot of things. If you want to criticize Mbalula, you can go, but not that. Not that. By the way, another issue about this January statement is that man, Malachi. Nunkuman, he goes there, he tells people that the enemy is MK. I have a problem. I have a problem with Jacob Zuma centering the entire MK on Ramaphosa. the ANC of Ramaphosa, the hate the man has of Ramaphosa disturbs me. And people will say, I know, I understand. Do you understand a lot of people who Zuma has wronged? Zuma has wronged other people as well. But I wouldn't like those people to centralize their hate against someone. I felt it was wrong for Malema to say Zuma or MK is the enemy of EFF. Well, someone would say, oh, of course, they are not friends. But for me as an African person, I just felt you shifted the goalpost into the person the enemy is what monopoly capital. Well, that's what you tell us, by the way, because white monopoly capital is the same people who give you money to give you these platforms to come and talk to us, by the way. So I've said it many times, I no longer understand what is the strategic enemy of the three spear organizations. I don't know who's their enemy, because now they've turned this thing around. They look like they are each other's enemy. Malema said MK is the biggest enemy. Jacob Zuma himself talks so much hate things about Cyril Ramaphosa. And I did not say Cyril Ramaphosa did not wrong him. Of course he wronged him. And Colin Malachi also speaks so ill of MK. So this cycle between these three guys, you sit here, you ask yourself in the past three organizations, big meetings, the NPA, Zuma's first anniversary with MK in Devon, and then the January 8 statement. They have not come out clearly to remind us who's their enemy and who are they going to target as their strategic enemy. And I find it very odd. Someone was saying, when last did you hear the EFF talking about white monopoly capital and but that's just my disappointment. Talking about disappointments, of course, let me go to the Commander-in-Chief of all armed forces in South Africa. So disappointing. These are his priority actions and specific tasks for 2025. This is so laughable. I have no idea. You know, when you say, you see now what that's going to do. So every year around this time, they have a January 8 statement. He's got nothing to tell us. Then he's got a government Lokhotla. He's not going to know what to tell us in the government Lokhotla, where he assembles his ministers. They do that government Lokhotla. Afterwards, they have Sona, where he opens parliament for the year. All these things, Ramaphosa must come up with something. As a speechwriter, you end up not knowing what to tell him. There's nothing that Ramaphosa could say. Let me just give you an example. They say, number one, the 6 priorities. Number one, a decisive and visible action to renew the ANC. Hogwash. They've been saying that. And Mantashe says it's because this thing is a process. He's just to defend rubbish. This is just rubbish. Number 2, fix local government and ensure water and energy security. Number 3, speed up inclusive economic growth to create jobs, strengthen the fight against crime and corruption, and build safe communities. Build a South Africa that belongs to all through a national dialogue. So this national dialogue, that's the one that Mbeki wants, by the way. Hogwash. Rubbish at this most. This is just that these guys are just spitting in our face. Rubbish. Build a better Africa and a better world. Build a better Africa and a better world. Like, what do you mean? Can this be priority actions and specific tasks for ANC in 2025? Like, really? By the way, decisive and visible action to renew the ANC. So they want to renew it. The problem that I have is, instead of being worried about conspicuous consumption that happens in clubs, in after parties, wherever the ANC goes, well, they would claim they are doing it for the local companies and local businesses, they cleared their ANC regalia. They go to clubs and entertain people and enjoy monies where their volunteers are not there. Let me repeat. They say the ANC, when it's time to eat, they eat with slay queens. When it's time to campaign, they campaign with your kids. Whenever they need people to go and close or march, they tell your kids to jump into the bus. They give them t-shirts to go and march. But when it's time to eat, they don't call those the very same people to go and march. They call slay queens. And you'll never find slay queens filling buses and going to go and do a march. Talk about renewal. Why don't they renew that? They are busy worried about Mbalula on a yacht. I mean, that yacht is a private yacht from some billionaire who receives government tenders. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. He's got a busy schedule. I mean, there's a busy schedule. If it say he must charter a plane out of Cape Town, then it's fine. It happens to everyone who's busy and who's money, who's got resources to do that. Mbalula was justified for going to Las Vegas using monies of business people, and so that's not a problem. You've got more problems as the ANC than this rubbish. But anyway, much and political incorrect. Let me leave it at that. This is what I wanted to discuss. I'm so disappointed with these guys. Later.